Denali is the highest mountain in North America. The expedition to Denali is a complete mountaineering adventure. From flying onto the glacier to the climb itself, the summit, the views across the Alaskan range, it is just a fantastic trip. Denali is sometimes referred to as the coldest mountain on Earth. It's actually a lot colder than the Himalayas, and although during the season, which runs from May through to early July, it does get warmer, it can still be incredibly cold, minus 30, even colder than that at high camp. The expedition begins in Anchorage, where we meet our expedition guides. We organise our food for the trip. It's pretty common to have to buy some last-minute pieces of equipment, some of which are pretty specialist for this type of cold mountain. So face masks, hand warmers, that sort of thing you probably have to pick up in Anchorage. And there are good stores there to do all that.
I strapped down and atom bound, stamped my feet and sang my songs for you. Now 5 years gone and all I'm left with is feeling like a duck with a short fuse. You know that's just the way that it goes.
We then travel up by road 2.5 hours to Talkeetna, which is the little village just below the Alaskan range where we fly into the mountains. We fly in a small aircraft with skis on the bottom, just 4 seats, with all our expedition gear, onto the Kiltna Glacier to Kiltna International Airport. So straight away you arrive in this incredible glaciated environment. We tend to camp here for the night, organise our sleds. If you imagine, we'd have something like 18 days worth of food and fuel, as well as all your clothing and equipment, tents, and that must be split between the group. So the first day there's quite a lot of work just to organise loads and to rig our sleds and get ready before we set off towards the mountain. The toughest day on the West Buttress route of Denali is undoubtedly the move from 14,000 feet camp up to high camp. This involves climbing up some steep slopes to an area where which they call the head wall, which has some fixed ropes on it. So here you're using your Jumar on the ropes. You're carrying quite a big load because you've got all your equipment and your food to probably spend 3 or 4 days at high camp. It might be that you spend longer than that, so obviously we have to have enough food to be able to stick it out for a few nights. One of the features of climbing in Alaska is that the days are very, very long. It never really goes dark in the summer season. So we don't have to make an alpine start on our summit day on Denali. We'll look at the weather and we might leave as late as 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. On a clear day, the views from the summit of Denali are just astounding. Such a huge glaciated environment. It feels very different from the Himalayas. It feels like a real Arctic wilderness, and it's just an incredible and special place to be. But in terms of your equipment, there's no skimping on that. You're looking at using what they call system style boots, which are the top of the range mountaineering boots with an integrated gaiter and extra insulation. You need a 5-season sleeping bag rated to minus 30 Celsius. You do want to have a good basis of winter mountaineering skills, because conserving energy is about you moving efficiently within your crampons. So you don't want to be trying this mountain without having done some previous mountaineering in Scotland, in the Alps, and really it's a good idea to have been to altitude before.